Shema everyone, and welcome back to another Doctor Who video and the first Doctor Who unboxing on this channel. And in this video we're going to be unboxing each of these Time Lord Victorious sets from Eaglemoss Hero Collector. Now I previously said that I wasn't going to get these, and these sets a few of these came out a month ago, but it's because you guys have been watching and commenting and really interacting with these videos that meant that this video was possible. So thanks to you guys for watching these Time Lord Victorious reviews. And thanks to Shaq for also making this video possible. Also, if you are new to the channel, make sure you click like and subscribe. There'll be more Doctor Who videos down the line, including next month in particular, where we have the final Time Lord Victorious story, which is Echoes of Extinction. It's finally being released. And also on this channel, there'll be a brand new interactive series that I'll be making called Who News, so stick around for that. It should be really fun. Also, check out our gaming channel on youtube.com/skybotgaming, where I've recently played the Doctor Who mobile game, The Lonely Assassins. So check out my complete playthrough there. So I think let's just get stuck in with this. I'm going to open up all these boxes, put all the figurines out. We're going to look at the figures first, and then we're going to go into the magazines. So, So first of all, I'll show you what the box looks like. And you can see it's nicely presented, nice colours on the box. It's got a nice spine where it shows like the number of the box and what's in it, and on the back it has like what's in the box and a little description and a little notification about what's in the magazine. One thing we noticed about this box in particular is that the descriptions for the characters are in some completely unknown language to me. Like everything else is in English except for the character description. So if I put this down here, you can see it's totally gibberish. We haven't even been able to find out what language this is. It's like all the text is muddled up. So Eaglemoss, you want to explain this? Is like a print error or whatnot? Everything else is fine. It's just these descriptions. Very strange indeed. So now I'm going to get into these boxes. I'm going to have a look at the figures first. There's only like one bit of tape on each box, so I'm going to open up like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these to one side now, and we're going to open them one at a time. And we're going to look at the figures, and then we're going to go into the magazines. So let's go here. Put these boxes to one side. So here's the magazine, comes in this little packet, and we're going to carefully take out the wire that's holding the Emperor Dalek in. There we are. He does have a bit of a weight to him, so I'm going to put him there. And then next to him we have the little Dalek drone, the little normal soldier. So once again, there we go. There's number 2, right? So this is the second box containing the Dalek Scientist and the Dalek Time Commander, and same again, very similar. The magazine comes in this little packet. Put that in the pile over there, and here we go. This one comes with a much thinner wire. Almost didn't see it. So there you go. There is the Dalek Scientist, and here we have the Dalek Time Commander, who at first glance doesn't look much different from the Dalek drone. But there we go. The Dalek Time Squad is almost assembled. Here we have the Executioner and the Strategist. The Strategist has been my favourite Dalek throughout the whole of Time Lord Victorious. I think he's been an incredible Dalek character. So here we go, third magazine. We'll have a look at that later. And we are going to assemble the Dalek Time Squad in its fullness. So there we go. Ooh, having a little bit of trouble with this one. There we go. And then this is the Executioner, the Extermination Crazy Dalek. So there we go. There we go. So there's all of the Daleks from this set, and we're gonna have a look at the most recently released one, which includes the Time Lord Victorious and Brian the Ood, another favourite character from the Time Lord Victorious story. So smaller box because the figures are slightly taller and they don't take as much width as a Dalek. The final magazine. I'll be curious to find out if there's any actual story in there because they didn't previously give away the titles of any. So here we're going to get Brian the Ood first. There we go. And there he is. As you can see, the humanoid figures have a hexagon on which to stand because the Daleks don't need one. This does make them quite a bit taller than the Daleks, but we'll be sure to go into more detail. And then there he is. The Time Lord Victorious feels a lot firmer because he has all his bulky robes and everything. So there we are. That's what's in the box. A magazine in each box and 2 figurines. So we're going to go through them in order. And we're going to have a look at the Dalek Emperor first. So this is the first figurine in the first box, the Dalek Emperor. I like how the Daleks have felt very solid, very sturdy. There's no moving parts. One thing I wanted to check was the weak points. Whenever I used to have Dalek action figures growing up, always the Eye Stalker, the Plunger, they were very at risk to bend or break. So I'm just going to have a quick, pretty solid Eye Stalk 2. Will be something to watch out for though, because I wouldn't go pressing that too much, but for the most part it does look solid. The gun seems a bit short, so it's unlikely I think that would break. The underside doesn't have anything, just what you'd expect, the detail in the what the Dalek uses to fly. It's got a nice little rim there, so everything is sort of inside the figurine. Yeah, I like the colour of the Emperor. He's very gold compared to the others. Even his plunger's gold. Like, imagine having a golden plunger as a Dalek. That's really posh. And of course, he's got his light bulbs for when he speaks, and his massive head. So yeah, I like it. It's a good figure. So I'm going to put him to one side, and we're going to have a look at the Dalek drone. Okay, so this is the Dalek drone, who's slightly taller than the Emperor if I put them next to each other, because he has one extra row of Dalek bumps there. So yeah, it looks like it's your typical Russell T Davies era Dalek, but coated in silver with blue around the bottom. One thing I noticed that from a distance it looks very nice. If you look closely, you can see that some of the painting on the Dalek bumps is slightly off. Like for example here, this particular bump here has more black showing, which I think is more like what it should look like, whereas this one here is almost completely blue. So it's little things like that come through sometimes as being, look at this one here. This one is very, very, has a large black rim, and so from a distance it looks fine. But if you spend a long time to look at it, you will notice little imperfections like that. I haven't seen anything on the box that says that sometimes perfections like this are considered part of the final product. So I've seen nothing like that, but I'll have to check in the magazines. But overall, it's lighter than the Dalek Emperor by a little bit, but it has the same underneath. I like it. It's good. So here is the Dalek Time Commander from the second box set. At first glance it looked very much similar to the Dalek drone from the first box set. So if I take the Dalek drone and put them next to each other, you can see he looks a slightly darker shade of grey, and obviously his Dalek bumps are silver and blue rather than blue and black. But he does look very, very similar. There's really not much to distinguish between them, except maybe the blue underneath is the first Dalek that has actual blue colour in there. Looks like he's in mid-flight, but besides that, they do look pretty much identical. So, you know, I'm not sure what to say of that. You know, obviously that's the Time Commander, but it's very similar patterns anyway. The next Dalek in the second box set is the Dalek Scientist. This one does have a distinct colour pattern, which is very silver and with its red dome and red sort of slides all around the body. And of course, the main difference here is, again, he's got this weird arm, which is not a plunger. It's some sort of scientific Dalek instrument. I don't know. Could it hold, like, I don't know, bottles of laboratory liquids or whatnot? Yeah, here again I see the same thing about the Dalek bumps. These ones in particular, you can see there's a lot more detail here on these bumps than in the other ones on the sides, and on this side here they have these little like spikes coming out of them. That is a nice amount of detail, very intentional, but like you can see that these splodges of red paint, they are varied, they are like imperfect, not everyone is exactly the same. I also notice as well here that this one in particular looks like it's got a big splodge of dried paint on it, so that one stands out there. But besides that, again, doesn't have any flight on in the bottom, but overall, yeah, I like it. I like this one is very, very distinct. So here is the first Dalek in the third box set, and it's the Dalek Executioner, the crazy one. And look, you can see he's got his red flight lights coming on at the bottom, the first Dalek with red from the set. Again, he's not much different from the Time Commander and the drone, except that he's more black. He's got a black dome, black ridges here. And the Dalek bumps are black with red, but the opposite of the Executioner. He also has a distinct little arm, which is not a plunger. It's some sort of hyper Dalek weapon. One thing I noticed, that this one actually did move when I touched it like that, so I'm going to try and not touch that again. Did move slightly, but if you see here, it has this sort of extra spike, which I don't think is intentional. That's another one of those imperfections that come through, because the other two sort of spikes don't have it. But yeah, I don't think you can expect anything to be perfect, but it's just those things that make it through. From a distance, it looks totally fine. He's even got a red eye because he's so evil. And the last Dalek in the figurine collection is the Dalek Strategist, and he does feel a lot more weightier than the other Daleks. Besides maybe the Emperor, he has a good solid feel to him, because he's an old style Dalek, so he's quite a different shape. And I really like this. Like, he's even got a foam on the bottom, because he doesn't have the ability to fly, so they've put like a little soft touch foam for the table, which is a nice touch there, because it doesn't elevate him above like the hexagons would for the humanoid figures, but it means that he's unlikely to scrape on tables or whatnot. Now, I already thought that the design of the Strategist was really detailed anyway, being one of the original Daleks from Skaro, but he's so rusty here, and they get it really well here. Like, I didn't even see this, like the other side of the Dalek from the box, but like if I show you some of the details here, this figure is by far the best Dalek. So first off, he's missing one of his Dalek bumps here, which is seen from all the promotional images of him. He is missing that one, but you can see, look at all this damaged case in right there. It looks really cool, and the painting is really good as well. It manages to get all of the red and the green separated. You know, I thought for a damaged casing, I thought I would see a lot more mistakes there. But on the back, on the other side, look, he's missing another one there. Looks like something's like clawed out this one, as well as this one looks like it's been hastily repaired or stuck in. And he's even got like a massive scar coming through here, and look, he's even got like a massive, it looks like it's been welded shut again. Overall, the detail on this one is a lot better. It has a lot more intentional details, such as these. He's even got the old style Dalek blaster, a really long plunger here, and of course the Dalek eye stalk that sits outside of the dome rather than in this sort of protected metal thing at the top, the small Dalek bumps. Overall, this is a really nice figurine. I think this is the best one of the set, which I'm really happy about, because the Dalek strategist was one of my favourite characters in Time Lord Victorious. I thought he was so evil. Okay, so we have the first figurine from the final box set, which is Brian the Ood, and he obviously feels a lot lighter than the Daleks because there's not much there. It's not a big metal thing. I think he looks nice. The suit is brilliant. He looks very smart in his tux. I think the problem I have with the humanoid figures is the faces. Sometimes the faces don't look exactly right, because to get detail on a face that small is very tricky. But because he's an Ood, it's not much of a problem. You can see he's got his tentacles out. Some of his tentacles are a little bit grey, not as red as you might expect them to be. And he's holding his little Ood translation sphere there. On the back of the hexagon, it says Brian the Ood, Time Lord Victorious, and some sort of serial number, which I don't know what means. But it's nice. If they're going to put a hex on it, like it even has the nice foam layer that they've put to prevent scratching when you put it on display. I think that's a nice touch, because you wouldn't be able to have this figure without the hexagon. It would never stand up on its own. But if I put a Dalek next to him, it does elevate him a lot higher than the Dalek. It does look a little bit strange when they're next to each other, so I might end up keeping the Daleks separately from the humanoid figures in the future. And now we have the final figure in the final box set, which of course is the Time Lord Victorious himself. We've got David Tennant's Doctor here in the Time Lord Victorious Gallifreyan robes. He also has the label on the back, says the 10th Doctor, Time Lord Victorious. Now his face, I think his face looks as good as it can. I think there's a lot of detail there. You can see that he has a lot of scarring on his face, as you may have seen from the promotional images that they made for the stories. David Tennant does have a lot of battle scars from his endeavours, so that's a good detail. And I think the damage on his face actually helps take away other details of his face. So because there is not much there besides that. His hair is looking very good, and so is the Time Lord Victorious collar. But what I love most about this is the detail on the scarf, or this red layer here. You can see that the Gallifreyan symbols there, they're very, very precise, and they look great. They're the best part of this figure. And I love how you can see his actual suit coming through, and his shoes at the bottom, like that we're all used to from the show. Yeah, I really like this. Feels a lot more solid than the Brian the Ood figure, because he's got all this bulk, and he feels kind of like a really heavy chess piece, I think, with the amount of space that he takes up there. I like it. I like it a lot. But my favourite figure is definitely the Dalek strategist. Okay, so I've had some time now to look through some of these magazines, and I'm going to show you exactly what you can expect to find in them. What I find funny is that it does open up into this sort of A4 sized page. It looks kind of like a poster, but it doesn't really read like that. It doesn't like open like you should. It opens like a mini A5 booklet with with all the stories sort of like sideways like that, which it makes for a really weird layout. But besides that, the content is really good. So this is the first booklet, and they have a lot of the history about Time Lord Victoria's story. They have how different parts of Doctor Who history have inspired the story. Like, for example, looking at how many different emperors they've been in the TV show. Yeah, it's all really interesting, and also excruciating detail about the anatomy of the Emperor Dalek. So if you have the patience to read through all that, good luck. This, I think, is very interesting because it provides like a little, not exactly the mini story, but it provides the sort of like a summary of the Daleks' journey throughout the entire Time Lord Victoria story. So I think it's interesting if you've experienced some of the other stories, read the books, listened to the audio dramas, these things, it sort of summarizes exactly what happened to them. So I think that's interesting that they've included that, because right at the very end, they have the actual story that's included with this booklet, and this is from set 1. Now I think it's a short story. I think that for this one, I think it wouldn't matter if you've read it or not. If you've experienced other parts of Time Lord Victorious, the story from the box set 1 is pretty. It's sort of supplemental. It fills in a few gaps, but without really adding anything, I think, that you already know. The same again, we have the booklet 2, whereas the focus now is on the Dalek Time Commanders and the the scientist in this one. So we have lots of different Time Commanders in the Doctor Who history, and also the history of how Daleks discovered time travel. So it sort of follows the same format here, where we've got a summary of maybe the scientist's journey through Time Lord Victorious and the Time Commander, excruciating detail about Dalek sources, the same way we had about the Dalek Emperor in the first. So you have also a history of Dalek science and the short story for this little booklet. I like the artwork that they have in these short stories. It's really nice layout. The same again though, I do think that the short story in this one is more supplemental. Things happen in this that you already know if you've read other books or other audio dramas. I really think that it just builds up the Dalek story. I think if you wanted to follow the Dalek story straight only, like from beginning to end, these help with that. But besides that, you do find out the information elsewhere. It's got the booklet from the third box set, same format again, the executioners, also different types of Dalek assassins in the TV history, including the special weapons Dalek. More about the Dalek strategist, again, like his sort of story throughout Time Lord Victorious, and then excruciating detail about the Dalek gunstick. So, like I say, each of these booklets is about 19 pages long. So we have the final story here for this booklet, and it's this one. If you're going to read a story, this one I really enjoyed, because whereas the other two were sort of filling in gaps, this one actually changes the ending, and I was actually surprised when I read this, because what I thought had happened based on what I've listened to or read before actually is sort of like a bonus. It sort of continues on a little bit, and it does so in a really incredible way. So like, if you haven't read it, the ending of Time Lord Victorious is sort of as it was, it's a fulfilling ending, but this changes, it adds a little extra to the ending. So I do recommend that story as part of the box set. Now we have the final booklet here, same format, where it's like different to what it actually is on the front cover. However, unfortunately, this really doesn't have anything else of use. Doesn't have a story as well. A lot of people, I think, were hoping for like another story, since this comes late in the Time Lord Victorious sort of story. I thought maybe there would be like an epilogue there or something about maybe the 10th Doctor, Brian the Ood, but there literally is nothing, no history, just sort of interviews with all of the writers. So everyone who's written something, like the comics or the novels, they all get an interview in this booklet. We should provide some really interesting things, you know, since they were writing and had to do all this in 2020. But unfortunately, it's just pages and pages of interviews, and it ends, you know, with an interview. There's no story there, which is a real shame, because I think I would have liked like a little bonus epilogue, because, you know, if you think about it now, you get the 4th box set and there's really no reason apart from having the figure. There's no story, there's nothing to add to the story. So you can experience all the story and just sort of disclude the last box set, just get the Dalek Time Squad, which overall I think is not a bad idea, because I think the Daleks, they go really well together. Yes, you have the Brian the Ood and Time Lord Victoria's figure with their hexes. They look a little bit different, but I think as a set, the Dalek Time Squad is a really good one, and it comes with the story, so you're not missing out. So I honestly think there's no reason to purchase the 4th box set as well if you wanted to save some money on that. I know for a fact that Eaglemoss, on their online store, they have multiple like sets of Doctor Who figurines. For example, they have the Parliament of the Daleks set, which has 10 Daleks included in a big box. They also have a set that includes like multiple incarnations of the Doctor and multiple Cybermen throughout the show's history. These tend to be more expensive as there's more figures in there, but I think the Daleks here, they provide another sort of bonus set. When bought all together, they form a nice set of Time Lord Victoria's Time Squad Daleks, and I think that they make a very good one-time purchase. Like, I'm not really much of a figurine collector, but having experienced Time Lord Victorious, they're very individual because they were only in this multi-platform story. So as someone who's experienced Time Lord Victorious, I like them a lot. Whereas like some of the other products, like they release Doctor Who figurines after every episode, you know, so if you don't want to like endlessly purchase figures, I think they make it a very nice one and done set for display, or to go along with all your other Time Lord Victorious collection. So yeah, I hope you like this unboxing video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if this is something you would like to see more often. Also, check out our gaming channel on youtube.com/skybotgaming for video game Let's Plays of The Edge of Time in VR, and also The Lonely Assassins on my mobile. Stay tuned for more Time Lord Victorious reviews for the final products that are coming out. Like, we will be going to Time Fracture when it eventually opens. We have got tickets for that. And also stay tuned for Who News, the first in a series of monthly Doctor Who interactive videos coming next month. So I hope to see you there. And also check out our social medias, and if you want to be one of our first Patreons, the links are all here in the screen and on the description below. So with all that said and done, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.